The wait is almost over. We're here among the thousands of Tartan Army in Munich, where in just over an hour, Scotland will take on the host nation Germany in the opening match of Euro 2024. With kick-off fast approaching and the atmosphere building, their dream of Scotland making history at this tournament is very much alive.
I'm at the Allianz Arena where the fans are starting to filter into the stadium. The anticipation is starting to build and the countdown is truly on to the big kick-off.
I'm at Broadwood Stadium where the rain is not dampening any spirits. We'll hear from fans here tonight and around the country.
Please win! Please win! I took the day off today, right? Enough said.
It doesn't matter what the result is, we're going to have a great time.
Feeling hopeful, optimistic. 2-0 Scotland.
We'll hear from two Nobel laureates, one from Bellshill, the other from Germany. Both huge football fans and tonight, rivals. All that and more as we're with you for a full hour as the clock ticks down to kick off.
Hello, I'm Sally Magnuson in the Reporting Scotland studio.
And I'm Laura Miller from the UEFA Fan Zone in Munich for a special extended Reporting Scotland. Becoming the anthem of the last few days, ringing out in the streets of the historic city of Munich. We've heard it getting louder and louder as the Scottish contingent has grown and grown. We'll be coming, and now we're here, and the moment is almost upon us, just 90 minutes away from Scotland versus the host Germany in the opener of Euro 2024. The talk of footballing greats from days gone by echoes round this city too. Dalglish, Law, Souness, Bremner, Gemmell, McFadden. But tonight, in the here and now, new heroes could be born. In this special hour-long programme, we'll bring you all the build-up. I'm live here at the Olympic Park fan zone in the north of Munich, where tens of thousands of Scots will be watching this game. We will be covering the countdown to this showpiece event with reporters here in Germany and back home in Scotland. Lewis Irons is at the magnificent Allianz Arena, which will host the big game. And Sarah McMullen is one of a number of reporters who will join at fan zones around Scotland. Also here is our sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin, who has seen this city turn tartan.
Well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you.
Munich this morning, waking to Scottish football's day of days. From the old to the young, everyone is in this one together.
No Scotland, no parties.
By midday, the calm of the morning had given way to a German-Scotland party. A coming together of those here to celebrate football. All made possible by these days, a qualifying campaign no one will forget. A campaign that propelled Scottish football back to the game's top table after a 26-year wait.
Colin Hendry leading out Scotland.
This, of course, was the last time, France '98, also a game to kickstart the tournament. It ended in defeat, but there were iconic moments of celebration that will never be forgotten. Now, here in Bavaria, it's time for the next chapter to be written. A day when thousands will look back and say, I was there. I remember Munich.
It's brilliant. First proper away tournament in my lifetime, so I'm making the most of it.
What's the situation with tickets? Do you have one?
Yeah, I've got one. I paid over the odds, but I was gonna sell it, take the money, but I've got to be there.
Do you have tickets?
Aye.
Does your friend on your head have a ticket?
No, I'm going to have to ditch that. Going to have to ditch this one.
You seasoned travellers with Scotland?
Oh yeah, the girls, we started travelling together 25 years ago. It's our anniversary.
As for the men carrying the hopes of the nation, well, they've already proved themselves capable of beating the very best. Today, trying to stay calm on a short afternoon stroll around their hotel.
Listen, we know it's a big game, but for us it's the opening game of a 4-team section, 3 matches. We know what we have to do to qualify out the section, and that's all we're focused on. The enormity of the opening game and whatever, that's a little bit of a sideshow, and hopefully we don't get too involved in that.
There's a lot of them over here and we hope to make them proud. We know all of them can't get in the stadium. We wish they could. It would help us, but we know there'll still be a lot of them in the stadium tomorrow night, and we know there'll be a lot supporting us back home in particular, and like the support, we couldn't do it without them. You know, they've pushed us over the line at times, and we hope they enjoy themselves over the next 10, 11 days, because, you know, if we can perform the way we can perform, we'll give them plenty to shout about.
They don't need much encouragement, but as the fans work themselves into a frenzy, how will the players be feeling?
They'll be excited, they'll be nervous, but when you walk out on that pitch tonight as a player, it's the proudest moment of your life. Opening the tournament against Germany, and you've just got to focus and put in your best performance you can do.
Those without tickets started arriving at the designated fan zones early in the afternoon. It got so busy they had to close it 2 hours later. For those lucky enough to have a ticket, well, they flocked to the stadium early. After months of talking, this is it. Here in Germany and back home, a nation united by football watches, waits, hopes.
Well, the skirl of the pipes has just started ringing out here, but very soon all eyes are going to be on the Allianz Arena. More than 60,000 lucky fans will be in there, but millions across Scotland, Germany and beyond will be watching elsewhere. So, the Allianz is the place to be, and Lewis Irons is there for us now.
Absolutely, Laura, and what a place it is to be. Indeed, we are now less than 90 minutes from one of the biggest 90 minutes in recent Scottish footballing history. I made the journey from the centre of Munich out here today. There were Scotland and Germany fans mingling in the city centre. They're mingling here too in the stands. The atmosphere truly is remarkable, but there's a sense as well of some nervousness, of some anticipation and some excitement, of course, too. The opening ceremony isn't too far away, but then it's the main event, the big game, the opener against the hosts. The players have arrived. They have got here. They've been out onto the pitch to take a look around, get themselves settled in for the big night ahead too, and hopefully calm their nerves as well. They'll be looking to make a bit of history in this group, but there's going to be a bit of history regardless. The opening game of a major tournament doesn't come around very often, and tonight it's going to be very, very special. All coming up very, very soon. Team news will be on the way as well. Fans starting to build up and get really ready for this one. For now though, back to you, Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Lewis. Pretty special there, pretty special here too. Now, here's something for you. Possibly a good omen for tonight. It is 50 years to the day since Scotland played their opening group game of the 1974 World Cup in Germany. The result? 2-0 to Scotland against Zaire. What the 200,000 or so Tartan Army foot soldiers would give for something like that tonight. Now, as he has been all week, our reporter Stephen Godden has been speaking to the Scotland faithful of all backgrounds and walks of life who've made the journey to Germany.
Match day and the Tartan Army are fully mustered in Munich. Thousands of foot soldiers, young and old, with different approaches to such a big occasion.
We started off slow today and don't want to peak too soon. I want to see the enjoy today and tonight, because, you know, who gets to go to an opening game? And I've been to too many where I've got out of the game afterwards and thought, I don't remember much of that, but not this one.
Very similar to you. You've got to pace yourself. I'm not like the young guy. What's the approach been from you? Has it been all guns blazing from minute one, or...?
That's the only plan. Come on, no Scotland, no party. You got to go for it.
For this Dundee family, sought-after match tickets are the reward for dedication that's involved going to every qualifier of this Euros campaign.
A lot of my mates in that over the last sort of 10, 15 years, oh, Scotland are rubbish. Why are you spending money watching Scotland away? And we've always said that the football's only 90 minutes. You know, you're not a city for 3 days, 4 days.
You put the work in to support the team, and that, you know, that's what it is. We always said when we retired, because we were both NHS workers, that we wanted to follow Scotland through a whole campaign, and it was so lucky that last April when Ali retired, we were able to do all the trips.
first major tournament as a well, it must be.
Yeah, it was, because I remember the opening game at the last Euros. I was sitting in school, I had a free period, so we were all watching it on our phones. But to be here is very exciting.
Already, Scotland's German adventure has brought people together. The Atlantic Ocean now separates these old school friends, but pre-match they're catching up and pondering what might be.
So we're quite good at playing against the bigger teams. You know, I don't think we'll get humiliated, put it that way. Cut to cut to the end of the match. Yeah.
You crying.
Yeah, cut to me crying, weeping, Dominic carrying me out. Other than that, it should be a good night.
Or we'll win this game and lose the next two and not go through.
That's the kind of optimism we've got.
That's the you know, hope for Scotland is the worst thing.
After tearing ankle ligaments on the five-a-side pitch, this fan was worried his dream was over before it began.
My first thought was I'm not going to be able to go, and that was my first question to the doctor. Like, she basically took one look at it, and I was like, no, can I just ask, do you think I'm going to be all right to go? And she's like, well, we'll need to do an x-ray first.
Medical clearance followed, along with a set of crutches.
My mum and dad were saying, you know what, be sensible, rest up the ankle. But I was like, I can't miss it. So I had to get those flights out last night.
So they're going to see this. This is sensible, isn't it? It's sensible.
I would say it's sensible. I would say it's sensible, but I mean, they might disagree.
Determination, dedication, with more than a hint of truth. For the fans, the waiting is nearly over. Stephen Gordon reporting Scotland, Munich.
Yes, some of the many memories being made here. Now, kick-off is fast approaching, and we can now cross to our sports news correspondent, Chris McLaughlin, who is pitchside in the Allianz Arena. And Chris, the turf you are standing on could be something of hallowed ground for Scots if all goes well. Does it get much bigger than this?
Yeah, you can actually feel this occasion pulsing through your body down here, Laura. Just imagine what the players are going to feel like. You're right, this is absolutely huge. I have been lucky enough to cover football for 25 years. I've followed Celtic and Rangers to European finals, but this just seems to be on another level. This is the game the whole country has been talking about for months. It's the game that will signal the end of Scotland peering through the window at the party. This time they're back after 26 years. They are the party, and you're right, it doesn't get much bigger than this.
And Chris, one of the taglines of this tournament, which you see emblazoned across the city, is united by football, and that does feel quite apt for an occasion like this, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, Laura, and you've seen that today in the various pieces from inside the city centre. Scotland fans and German fans partying together. But remember, look, this is our national sport. We're not always very good at it, but it's a sport that excites us. It sends us into despair. It's a fun sport for many people. There's not much that can do that the way sport can do that on a national level. So you're absolutely right. This is something that has been unifying, I think, for football in general. This tournament is one that the whole nation has been looking forward to for some time. And look, no matter what happens on that pitch behind me tonight, I can guarantee you, absolutely guarantee you something. Everyone who watches this game, everyone who's in here, everyone who's watching outside of this stadium will remember it. That's the power of sport. That's the power of football in particular.
Yeah, quite the night. OK, Chris at the Allianz Arena, thank you. Well, let's go up to Lewis, who's also in the stands of the Allianz. Lewis, we've seen plenty of build-up off the pitch. What can we expect on it?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it, Laura? That's what the fans are getting ready for. Any minute now, we can expect to learn who the starting 11 are going to be, who Steve Clarke has picked to go out there and make a bit of history in this opening game against Germany. Any minute now, the fans' speculation will be over, and then it'll be all eyes on that pitch. The players were out there earlier, they were soaking up the atmosphere, but soon they'll be lacing up their boots. They'll be going out to warm up, and then they'll be going up against the host Germany, who of course are expected to do really well in this tournament and in this opening game. This journey all started back in March last year with the qualifying campaign. The fans' journeys all started over the last week or so, but it's all culminated in coming here. But how is everyone feeling? How is the atmosphere bedding in? Paul Barnes previews the big match.
The waiting is almost over.
I think we all know it's going to be a very amazing night.
It's been initial that I've came to Hampden and I've left with no points. So that's a step forward in terms of believing in what we're trying to do.
Fast forward to the present, and Scotland have been readying themselves near the Bavarian border, tucked away from public glare and the boisterous excitement of central Munich. But the meaning of this occasion to fans here and back home is at the forefront of the players' minds.
I don't know how many millions of people will be watching it, but there'll be everyone that's probably got a TV will be tuning in. It's the home games as well. They're opening the tournament, we're opening the tournament, so I don't think it comes much bigger than that, to be honest.
A huge game for Scotland, but the same applies to the hosts. The current side aren't full of superstars like German teams of yesteryear, but in this football-mad country of 85 million, the hosts are expected to win.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to. It's a special moment for me as well, not only for the team. I think it's a special moment for everybody in this country. So we try to convince all the fans on the stands to do one of the best competitive teams in this tournament. So at the end, we try to do our best.
Nations of fierce pride who love their football and their beer. Germany and Scotland have plenty in common. It's the perfect backdrop to kick off one of the world's great sporting events.
It's a massive moment for all the group. I think every single one of the boys is ready to go, and hopefully we can come away with something.
And this behind me is the reward, the magnificent Allianz Arena. 22 players, 90 minutes and 75,000 fans. Most of them have written Scotland off, but you never know. It's a funny old game. Paul Barnes, reporting Scotland, Munich.
Well, former Scotland international Neil McCann joins me now. Neil, we don't quite have the team news, but tell me, where do you think are going to be the key areas out on that pitch very shortly?
To be honest, I think it's not about individuals. This performance tonight is going to take a real collective effort. I think Steve's got decisions to make, of course, up front. Personally, I think Lawrence Shankland, I'd love to see him start. I think getting confidence with his goal against Finland would have done him no harm at all, but I've got a feeling Lewis State will probably go with Shea Adams, might just get the nod ahead. He's got right back decisions to make with McCrory and Ralston, and of course centre back. I feel that Grant Hanley's maybe those couple of games might have put him into pole position over Ryan Porteous, and then of course Scott McTominay, who's been so important for us about getting goals, being physically good for us. If he's got minutes in him and he's fit enough, he has to start for me, but that might mean that Billy Gilmore drops out the team. So lots of decisions, but it will take an enormous collective effort this evening to get as a result, but I've got a good feeling about it.
The good feeling seems to be around the place, doesn't it? No manager wants to deal with headaches like injuries, though, do they? So he's not had a shortage of those to deal with, but he's good at getting the most out of a collective.
Do you know what? He's brilliant. I think he's done a terrific job since taking it over. He's really, I think what he's done as well, Lewis, is he's been good at getting players to come and join. And want to come and join up with the squad. We've created that. Everybody talks about the club feeling about a national team is so difficult to grasp. But I think he's done that really well. What he's got as well, he's been fortunate because not only are we robust, we're also very good on the ball. So we can adapt, we can control the ball, we can kind of dictate the speed of a game now as well, which is going to be important tonight. We need to handle the ball, not just get rid of it when we're defending well, because we'll play on the counter-attack tonight. But I think Steve's done a wonderful job, and the thing as a manager you always do is have I given them every bit of information possible. There's no doubt in my mind that Stevie Clark would have done that, so it's over to the guys now.
I can't be standing here with you ahead of a game against Germany and not talk to you about the goal you scored against Germany, Neil. Everyone at home will have the joy of watching it back, but you'll remember it so fondly. What did it feel like, and what are the players that might be lucky enough to score tonight going to feel like?
We played at the Dortmund Stadium and it was an unbelievable atmosphere. I have to say it's one of the best I've ever played in. The German fans and the Scots fans had this relationship that night. I remember them singing 500 miles, all of them, which was exceptional. But if you see my celebration, I'm very worked up because it was quite an aggressive match. There was a lot going on, there was a lot of bad tackles. I saw big Michael Ballack over my shoulder there doing German TV a minute ago. He was involved in that game. I forgot how big he was. But it was a nasty element to the game. Unfortunately we lost that night. Mo Ross gets sent off. Bertie Volts had to rein in Christian Daly after the game for saying cheats and divers and all the rest of it. I don't think we'll get that temperament tonight. I think what we'll have to do is deal with a really, really good German side. But I've got a good feeling that our result tonight will better that.
Let's hope you're celebrating later on. Neil McCann, thank you so much for your time. Well, what an occasion it's going to be for the 11 players out on that pitch. For one man in particular, he's a bit of a toast of the Tartan Army, and he's almost guaranteed to start tonight, isn't he? Earlier today, I caught up with two people who know him very well, and he's the man that all the fans love to sing about. First of all, guys, tell us who you are, as if some people might not know.
Under my name will be John McGinn's brother, and this is his fiancée, Sarah.
Yeah. So when did you guys get in here?
I got here last night. Travel was good, to be fair, it was fine, but yeah, last night, so we're just out for the day today.
How's it been then?
Has been brilliant, lively, just really excited at the game, but the next hour is about trying to locate everyone. We get family dotted about, so try to get together, have a couple of drinks, and then the nerves will kick in for tonight.
We saw John dancing. You must get messages about that constantly ever since. What was that like?
Before it came up, I just knew it would be him. I just had a feeling it would be him, but it's funny. Yeah, he's good. He's a character.
He is. Who else would it be, really, Stephen, to be honest?
I know, you're watching the video and you go, why John again? But he did say, didn't he, that he was coaxed. We were looking for a volunteer and everyone just pushes John forward. And to be fair, he buys in. Terrible dancer, but he buys right in.
He's the perfect vice-captain, though, isn't he, in terms of having... Because you need that when you're in camp and you're all together for so long.
Not for us too, we're quite happy to have a wee break from him, but he seems very popular with the boys. And
go round and round in your mind all the time when you hear it out here.
I think it never really gets, it's still like quite surreal, it never really sinks in, even though you hear it all the time, but yeah, it's still quite surreal. And I don't know, to us, like, John's just John, but he's, I don't know, so it's just, yeah, it's mad.
Do you join in? Do you sing along?
With me, no. My dad does. My dad turns into a super fan, so no, but I mean, we're buying right into it. We've got the tops, and we're just, as I said, we're here to support John and all the boys.
So the families are here, the fans are filtering in a little more now. It's definitely getting a lot busier around about me now. And as I said, there's a lot of mingling between Scotland and Germany fans. It's great to see. The atmosphere really is joyous at the moment. Will it be joyous at full time? Well, it's going to be for someone, surely. And it's going to be fascinating to see who indeed that is. It's not just the families, though, or the players, or the fans. There's a lot of very well-known faces all around me. Neil McCann touched on former Germany international Michael Ballack around me. There's Scotland heroes Ali McCoy's getting a lot of attention, James McFadden. It really is bringing all the stars out here too. But it's going to be the most interesting to see how the fans are feeling at full time. Ahead of kick-off, though, there's always that optimism, isn't there? They're always so confident. Some Scotland fans talk about winning this game. They talk about winning the whole tournament, but who would rob them of that joy ahead of the biggest game in a long, long time? We went out and about to speak to some of the fans earlier on both sides of the coin to gauge the mood ahead of the game.
Absolutely confident. We are going to win this 2-0. 2-0 to Scotland.
Wow, confidence there. Do you share that confidence?
Absolutely not. No.
Definitely, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident.
Yeah.
We're going to win 2-1.
I'm quite excited, and I'm pretty sure and convinced that we will win the game 4-0.
Wow, okay.
Whoa, yes.
You had to rub it in. Okay, I see.
It's an opening game. Anything can happen. I mean, obviously they're massive favourites, and we go into this with no pressure, but ultimately, anything could happen.
Oh, well, sorry, catch me off guard there. I'm trying to find the team news and trying to bring you that breaking news. We're on the edge of our seat here, and unfortunately we've not quite got the 11 just yet, but we will bring it to you later in the programme for sure, Laura. The anticipation's building here. You see it where you are as well. It's brilliant to be here, isn't it? And I'm just on the edge of my seat ready for this game to kick off.
Yeah, Liz, enjoy it all. It's getting pretty noisy here too, so I feel your pain. Listen, the crowd have just been going absolutely crazy for a pipe band that's just been on stage. We had Flower of Scotland, we had Highland Cathedral, we had the whole lot. I think there's now some audience participation going on though. But listen, for those watching on BBC Scotland, BBC One Scotland, this is where we leave you. But you can stay with us by turning over to the BBC Scotland channel. You do not want to miss this. We will be with you there until 7:30 with more Euros build-up and the weekend weather forecast.
So the weather's looking great for the Scotland match this evening, but how is it looking back here in Scotland? Keep tuned for a full weekend forecast.
Well, it is Auf Wiedersehen from me for now, but I will see you again shortly. For those of you already on BBC Scotland, Sally Magnuson is standing by in the Reporting Scotland studio. From here in Munich, it's over to you in the studio, Sally.
Thanks very much indeed, Laura. You can understand just how noisy it is over there. Poor Laura could hardly hear a word. Let me tell you, the excitement, though, isn't limited to Germany, where about 1 in 20 of the entire Scottish population, you won't need me to remind you, has currently landed. Sarah McMullen is among a number of our reporters at fan zones around the country here at home, and she joins us now from the Broadwood Stadium in Cumbernauld. Sarah, what's the mood like where you are?
Yeah, good evening, Sally, and a big warm welcome from Broadwood Stadium, where I am just one of the 5,000 Scotland fans expected here tonight. I'm sure you can see what the mood is here like tonight. I'll let them take it away for just a moment. So, Sally, the atmosphere has been really picking up here over the past half an hour, but we've been speaking to fans since we got here at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and the sense of occasion is really not lost on them. It's families everywhere here today, kids in football strips, granddads and grandsons and granddaughters. That is a family atmosphere, and the people that we spoke with said that the sense of occasion is absolutely not lost in them. They've waited more than 20 years for days like this, and so here are a few of the people that I spoke with earlier.
It's massive. I mean, this is what, 26 years? I was only 5 the last time. So
how good is it to share with the wee ones then?
Oh, the wee fella, bring the wee fella, come here. This is what it's all about, yeah. Get the wee fella in and get him ingrained in it so he can enjoy it or get used to disappointment, one or the other.
I think as long as the rain stays off, it'll be a really good night, and hopefully if Scotland wins, then that'll just nail it.
What do you think the atmosphere will be like here tonight then?
Oh, absolutely electrifying. It's nothing that you could imagine.
And score predictions, you going to have a party tonight?
One each. Being realistic.
Come on.
What do you think? What do you think, Oliver?
2-1 Scotland.
Good on you, son. Good on you.
Yeah, good on you. Optimistic,
we live in hope.
Well, as you can see here, the excitement is building and it is chaos, but no Scotland, no party. But this isn't the only party here tonight. There are parties up and down the country. So let's take a look at those now and go to my colleague David Daldy in Orkney.
Thanks, Sarah. We have a saying here in Orkney, gate or clean gate, to be a bit excited, perhaps even a bit overexcited. I think there'll be a few people just about there come 8 o'clock tonight. Now, Orkney Attlee has a connection to the international team through Andrew Watson, the first black internationalist. His dad was from just up the road here. Now, Watson had a remarkable 100% record for Orkney. Oh boy, what we would do for that over the coming weeks. Well, that's the picture here in Orkney. What about in the Highland capital? Ian McInnes is there for us.
Thanks, David. Well, this place is normally an ice rink, but I can tell you the fans here are far from chilled tonight. There's a big atmosphere building here ahead of the game. People have been streaming in here from 6 o'clock. There's been biblical proportions of rain here since all through the day, really, here. And since the teams, we're just waiting just now for the team to be announced. And what we're looking for here is Ryan Christie. Will his name be on the team sheet? He is obviously a son of Inverness, and he would reach 50 caps tonight if he does get that game. And there would be a big cheer from here for sure. Let's hope we've got somebody to cheer about through the course of the evening. Let's see how things are looking now in Dundee with my colleague Louise Cowie.
Well, Dundee is traditionally divided when it comes to football. You're either a dark blue or a tangerine. But safe to say those rivalries have been set aside as everyone comes together to support Scotland tonight. And we're claiming Scotland's captain, Andy Robertson, as one of our own. It was thanks to a successful stint at Dundee United that he went on to Hull and then Liverpool. And as we know, the rest is history. It's been weather for ducks here in Dundee this afternoon, but it looks like it's finally clearing up. Up to 4,000 people here are expected tonight. They know how to party here in Dundee. Do they know how to party in Dunfermline? Let's cross to Joanne Macaulay and find out.
Well, we're being treated to some local talent here at East End Park. You can probably hear this Oasis tribute band in the background, whose drummer is from Cowdenbeath. We've also had a local DJ playing and, of course, a piper to get everybody in the mood ahead of the match. Now, as you can probably see, the fan zone here is filling up. It's a sellout event with 2,800 tickets sold, and there's a really nice atmosphere with people of all ages coming together to the park to watch all the action on the two giant screens here. Now, unfortunately, we had torrential rain earlier here in Dunfermline, but it seems to have cleared up, and we're hoping for a bit of sunshine later. But of course, the thing that will brighten us all up is a good result for Scotland. So from East End Park here in Dunfermline, it's back to Sarah in Cumbernauld.
Yes, so there we have it, celebrations up and down the country. And as our reporters across the country were saying there, it was raining earlier on. It was raining when I got here, but that has since stopped, thankfully. But these are special people, special fans, the type that dare to dream even when it pours. And tonight, they're looking for a result. Back to you, Sally.
Thanks very much, Sarah, and welcome to this restful oasis of a studio. Now, the start of the tournament is bringing a welcome boost to businesses here after a difficult few years for the hospitality sector. Bars have been filling up all afternoon as anticipation builds for the big match. Katrina Renton's been braving the crowds in Glasgow.
Some queued for hours to make sure they got a seat at the fan zone in Merchant Square in Glasgow. It's full to bursting with fans.
To the wall,
hoping
right.
the dream will finally come true.
We're just here to watch Scotland not lose.
Yeah.
Not lose. That's the plan. Just not lose. Just don't lose.
Feeling hopeful, optimistic. 2-0 Scotland.
I'm buzzing. We're here in the fan zone. We've been queuing since like 2-3 p.m. So hoping for the best. And I can't go to Munich, so I'm closer to Hamden. That's why we're here.
Optimistic. I think we're going to win 2-1. John McGinn.
You got McGinn. Super John McGinn. Just so that you understand. Steve Clark's man. Better than Zidane. Yeah, that's enough. I feel a bit awkward now.
I'm wearing a retro Scotland top that I bought for the Euros last season, or the last tournament. Unfortunately, it arrived the day after Scotland get knocked out, so I haven't managed to wear it yet, but I don't know, it's a good luck charm for me today, so come on Scotland.
With reports that some beer halls in Munich have been drunk dry, event manager Jennifer says that won't happen here.
I think it's living over my expectations, possibly, but yeah, no, it's great. We're all organised, so we're ready for it.
And you're not going to run out of beer?
We're never going to run out of beer. Even with all this crowd, we're not going to run out of beer.
And for those who've not made it out to Munich, here's a little bit of Bavaria in the middle of Glasgow.
When the fixture got announced, it was just perfect. It was a match made in heaven for us to have the game on, putting up a couple extra TVs in just to try and make sure we get the atmosphere going for it.
We've got you in your Scotland kit and we've got you in your Bavarian traditional dress. Whose side are you on tonight?
It's got to be Scotland. Has to be.
What are you?
Gonna go Germany.
You're in a Bavarian beer hall. Is that to get a bit of the German atmosphere?
Absolutely, and beer. But a little bit of training ahead of next week when we're going through.
Well, I thought, I couldn't go to Munich because I was working, so I thought I'd come to the best place in Glasgow that's more like Munich, so I thought I'd come straight to here. I took the day off today, right? Enough said.
It doesn't matter what the result is, we're going to have a great time, and we're also going to beat Germany anyway.
Meanwhile, back in the fan zone.
Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Please win. Please win.
On the election campaign trail today, there were calls for all future Scotland games to be screened on television free. We'll be able to watch this tournament on terrestrial channels, including the BBC, but most recent Scotland games have been on pay-to-view TV. Here's our political correspondent, David Henderson.
John Swinney for the SNP on the campaign trail in Munich, shaking hands with members of the Tartan Army. So that's 2 down, tens of thousands to go. Back home, this match is free to air on TV, so for many fans that's welcome but unusual.
It's absolutely vital that free-to-air games are available for people. It's wrong that these games should be charged, so I'm really pleased that we've managed to get those games on free-to-air and that everyone can see this and that cost is not a barrier to people enjoying Scotland playing in an international tournament.
In recent years, most Scotland games were on pay TV, with the BBC showing recorded highlights. By contrast, most England matches have been free to air on Channel 4. That's an arrangement Labour and the Lib Dems take aim at.
Well, usually on the campaign trail, opposition parties can't agree on very much. Today, though, is different. All roads lead to Munich.
There should be equal rights if people in other parts of the UK are able to watch free-to-air sport for their national team. That same should apply here to Scotland, and that's something that we would certainly be pushing for.
I think that it's really, something that brings the nation together. It's a national pastime, and I just think that, particularly in a cost of living emergency, we shouldn't be asking fans to fork out to watch the game that they love.
Out on the stump in the northeast, the Scottish Tories dreaming, perhaps, of victory.
As many Scotland fans as possible should be able to see as many games as possible. But what we have to do is ensure that the revenue is secured so there's no dilution of the amount of money that's going into the game from broadcast rights as a result of games being made free to air.
All that is for the future, a challenge for the election victor. For now, though, the focus is on another campaign, where winner takes all. David Henderson, reporting Scotland.
The Parliamentary Standards Watchdog says no further action is required in relation to Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross's expenses and allegations of wrongdoing in the press. Today, the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority announced in a statement that it was satisfied that no rules had been broken. Our political correspondent Georgia Roberts joins me now. Georgia, just remind us what this was about.
Well, the Standards Watchdog had said earlier this week that it was reviewing allegations the leader of the Scottish Conservatives may have used his Westminster expenses to travel in his role as a football linesman. The Sunday Mail newspaper said his advisers raised concerns over several claims which may have bended the rules in relation to some journeys and claims he made. Douglas Ross always said he was comfortable with the claims he made, but the SNP leader John Swinney has said these were serious and substantial allegations that might amount to a misuse of public funds. However, today the Watchdog have said in a statement it's completed its review, it's met with Douglas Ross to discuss the issues that have been raised, and they're satisfied that the claims were within the rules and no further action is required. Now, this will of course be welcome news to the Scottish Conservatives. It's been a difficult week for them, having come of course when Douglas Ross announced he was going to be standing down as leader after the general election, having come under pressure to do so. And responding this evening, the party have said IPSA have confirmed all of Douglas's expenses claims were valid, and his focus is now on beating the SNP.
Georgia, thank you very much indeed. Staying with the election campaign, let's shift the focus away from politicians and onto you, the people they're being elected to serve. This evening, we're in the northeast looking at the priorities for those living in the Gordon and Buchan and Aberdeen South constituencies. Ben Phillip reports.
Balmedie in bloom. Local volunteers are busy planting flowers to spruce up the area for the summer. This village in Aberdeenshire lies within the newly created Gordon and Buchan constituency. Around 2,500 people live in Balmedie. Speaking to voters here, the issues they're thinking about going into this election include transport links, the NHS and the future of the oil and gas industry.
The NHS most. I mean, you say the amount of ambulances are sitting outside for hours is ridiculous. People is actually fighting for their lives.
Transport.
I think it's the way things are going. I mean, they're so anti-car, but there's not the public transport to support people. I mean, it's not so bad where we are here, but people in outlying villages, they maybe have 1 or 2 buses a day.
Just a mess. Who do you vote for? Who do you trust now? I've lost faith in them all.
There isn't that much jobs in here for graduates, and they ought to move somewhere that it's more feasible for them.
Skirting round Aberdeen on the city's bypass, our next stop is Cove, part of the Aberdeen South constituency. Originally a small fishing village, Cove has grown into one of the largest suburbs in Aberdeen. Issues high on the agenda for people living here include the cost of living crisis, support for businesses and tax.
Probably the cost of living is the most got the impact on everyone, has it? You can't do the same as what you used to.
Is there anything local to Cove that could be better perhaps?
Cove, I would say more help with like the local businesses. I mean, we are a community that, you know, like buy local, but there is, unfortunately, there's places that have closed down.
Probably just the taxes, to be honest, the taxes, and I'm self-employed as well, so what kind of support offers me as well, so yeah, that's about it, to be honest.
The divided political makeup of the North East makes it a key battleground in this election, and with polling day now just 3 weeks away, the campaigning continues. Ben Phillip, reporting Scotland, Aberdeen.
And let me just tell you that as part of Your Voice, Your Vote, the newscast team, that's Chris Mason, Laura Kunsberg and Paddy O'Connell, are doing a special election Q&A live on the BBC iPlayer tonight. You can listen in full on the newscast podcast, available on BBC Sounds. Not everyone is going to be at home, though, when the country goes to the polls on the 4th of July. Many of us will be on holiday. There could be football fans still abroad for the Euros. So what do you do if you're not expecting to be around on polling day? And if you are likely to go in person to a polling station, what kind of ID will you need this time? Zara Weir explains all.
How can you vote if you're on holiday on election day? First of all, are you on the electoral register? For most people, the easiest way to register or update your details is online. You will need your national insurance number. The deadline for registering is 11:59 p.m. on the 18th of June. Once you're on the electoral register, you can vote in any election or referendum. For a UK-wide general election, the application for a postal vote can be made online. When registering for a postal vote online, you will be asked for the address where you're registered to vote, your national insurance number or other identity document, and the specific date of the election or referendum. A sample of your signature is also required. You can take a photo of this and upload it. The deadline for applications is 5 p.m. on the 19th of June. Under some circumstances, you can also ask for someone you trust to vote on your behalf. This is called a proxy vote, and you can also apply for this online. The deadline for applications for proxy votes is 5 p.m. on the 26th of June. If you are not on holiday and planning to vote in person, you now need to bring photo ID. The types of photo ID that will be accepted include a UK passport, a UK photocard driving licence, a blue badge, a Scottish National Entitlement card, and a Young Scot card with a pass hologram. A full list of accepted ID is available online. Voting for the UK general election takes place on the 4th of July.
Zara Weir there. Now, if football isn't quite your bag, here's something a bit closer to home. For the first time, WWE will host a premium live wrestling event from Scotland. More than 14,000 wrestling fans are expected at Glasgow's Hydro this weekend for Clash at the Castle, featuring some of the world's biggest wrestling stars, including airborne Drew McIntyre. He's Scotland's only WWE champion, and tomorrow night he'll be fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of the show. He says he can't wait to get in the ring on Scottish soil.
As a kid, I always dreamt of main eventing WrestleMania, winning the title at WrestleMania, which I did, which is cool. But what I didn't dream about was performing on a televised Scottish show, because it didn't exist. Like this being the first ever Scottish PLE, the fact that I'm on it's cool, but screw that, I don't want to just be on it. I want to be in the main event. I'm in the main event, I'm fighting for the world title, and I know the fans are going to be turning out and breaking the sound barrier. Friday at SmackDown and Saturday at Clash at the Castle.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Glasgow's such a huge city for wrestling, so to have a big event like that in the High Road just up the road, especially with Drew headlining, it's a huge weekend for Glasgow. I think Drew has always influenced Scottish wrestlers. He was the first person to ever do it. He changed the game. Before him, nobody had done it. He made the blueprint for it. So to have him back here on his home turf at the Hydro, where he wrestled with us years ago, at this level, it's hard not to be inspired by it.
Now, before we head back to Laura in Munich for some very important team news, let's get the weather forecast from Judith.
Good evening. Well, we've seen a fair few showers today, and there's more to come over the weekend with low pressure slap bang across Scotland. Plenty of showers or rain within its circulation as well as it drifts ever so slightly to the east. However, come next week, we are looking at a ridge of high pressure building in, so we will lose the unsettled conditions. But as far as this evening is concerned, showers will continue to ease, moving away to the north, although we'll continue to see rain across the Northern Isles with strong winds, late sunshine, then clear spells as we head through the overnight period, with perhaps the odd mist patch here and there, and temperatures falling to around about 6 or 7 Celsius, a wee bit higher in coastal areas. Into tomorrow, early on, it's a fine start, a dry start with good sunny spells first thing, and some rain across Shetland initially, and quite windy here as well. Cloud will build. We'll see showers breaking out really anywhere. There will be a shower risk right across the country, and we could see the odd thunderstorm in the mix. Now, it turns dry for a time across the Northern Isles, but still rather misty, grey and murky with strong easterly winds for Shetland, fresh over Orkney and Caithness. A number of heavy showers for the afternoon across the Grampian area, and generally it is a case of showers pushing through, maybe the odd thundery one in the mix, but some brighter sunny spells coming and going as well. Similar conditions for the west, but given any sunshine, 16 degrees. The best of the sunshine for the Inner Hebrides up towards Mull and across the Uists as well, but thicker cloud in the north and some showers for the afternoon. So if you're thinking of heading to the hills tomorrow, after a dry, bright start, some early sunshine, some mist in the glens as well. We'll see heavy showers breaking out, the odd thunderstorm in the mix as well. We'll feel cold on the tops, quite brisk northeasterly winds at times as well, particularly across northern ranges. So as far as the rest of the afternoon is concerned, more showers to come, and then we'll see a spell of rain moving in across northern Scotland and pivoting into the Western Isles during tomorrow night, down across western Scotland. It will end up across southern Scotland, turning drier elsewhere. Still some rain though for the Northern Isles, particularly Orkney, and we'll see some clear spells across the northern half of Scotland, with that rain first thing on Sunday across southern parts of the country. Elsewhere it's dry. The rain does ease quite quickly during Sunday morning. Then we'll see brighter skies, showers breaking out really anywhere. A much better day for the Northern Isles though, and temperatures of 14 to 16 Celsius, lighter winds for the Northern Isles too. A more settled look as we head into the new week, and I'd just like to take the opportunity to wish the Scotland team all the very best from the BBC Scotland weather team.
Thanks very much indeed, Judith. That's all from the studio team now. As the minutes tick down to the match, let's rejoin Laura Miller in Munich.
Thank you, Sally. Yeah, welcome back to the fan zone. And I can tell you, if there were a roof on this place, it would have well and truly have been blown off by now. Although Broadwood Stadium did sound like it was giving us a run for our money. Listen, we've got that team news now. So here we go. We can bring it to you. In goal, Angus Gunn. At the back, Anthony Ralston. Captain, Andy Robertson. Jack Hendry and Ryan Porteous. In midfield, Ryan Christie, Callum McGregor, Scott McTominay and John McGinn, and Che Adams up top. Some interesting choices there, perhaps Porteous and Christie, but is this the team that's going to do it for Steve Clarke and for the nation tonight? We will find out very soon. Okay, so here, like the game, like every corner of the city, it is full to capacity. There are Scots, yes, but Germans too, of course. But our head-to-heads don't make for great reading. The last time Scotland came out on top was 25 years ago. But is tonight the night? Well, let's continue On that theme of rivalry, earlier I caught up with two friends who also happen to be Nobel Prize winning scientists. That's not all they have in common though, they're both die-hard football fans too. Scot Professor David Macmillan and German Professor Benjamin List will be rooting for different teams tonight, as you might expect, but they will still meet up in Munich. I asked them what made them decide to make the trip here.
After the actual Seville Europa League final, we were supposed to meet there and go on German TV, and I couldn't come over because of logistics, which drove me crazy. So when we found out it was going to be Scotland against Germany, we sort of got in touch and said, we've got to do this. It's going to be fantastic to go hang out and watch the game. And it's just, you know, we've known each other forever, so it was just really easy to sort of decide we're going to come and do that.
And of course you share a passion for football as well. I imagine that friendship will be put aside tonight. The rivalry is there.
I guess I sit somewhere else in the stadium. I'm not sure where my ticket is. I just got it last night.
Well, since I've been here, Ben, it's just been amazing hospitality in Germany, and I expect more hospitality tonight.
Let's see.
You've got to sort of be good to us.
Good luck.
No, I know.
My feeling is it's going to be a draw because the Germans typically don't perform so great in the opening games. So let's see.
Yeah.
I guess that would be sort of a fair result.
That's very magnanimous of you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You're both two of the minds, the greatest minds of your generation. You have given your work has
I don't
given.
know who told you that, Laura.
Your work has.
My family are rolling their eyes over there as we speak. Yeah.
Your work given so much to humankind, but the real question is, who's going to win tonight, David?
My brain tells me it's going to be a draw, but my heart tells me we're going to win 2-1. So I'm believing Scotland's going to win 2-1 with a last minute goal by John McGinn. That's my prediction.
And a draw.
I think it's going to be a draw, like 2-2. 2 against.
High scoring. Good.
Yeah.
Can I ask you finally though then, just in, it's such a wonderful occasion. It's hearing lots of memories of tournaments gone by. What's your favourite footballing Scotland memory?
I mean, that's easy for me because I think I was 10 years old when Archie Gemmell rounded 3 different people, slotted it over the goalkeeper. I just remember my whole family jumping up. This was in Argentina. My whole family jumped up. We lived in a council house, still do, and basically were banging the walls to the neighbours and everybody was going daft. And that was, to me, still my greatest footballing moment, is watching Archie Gemmell score that goal. Just absolutely out of this world.
Maybe a few moments again recreated
I hope we do that tonight. Yeah.
Yourself, Ben?
I remember as a child, like 1982 semi-final against France, and that was a very, very intense game. And there was one guy, Rummenigge, he's still sort of a senior football manager now, actually in Munich, and he kind of put himself on the field, right? So the coach didn't even wasn't even involved in that decision, and then he scored twice, and that was amazing.
Very good.
Yeah, I think a few more memories will be made tonight. Let's hope so. Let's hope they're Scottish ones, David.
I hope so too.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
It was such a pleasure to meet both of them, and that memory of David's will resonate with many of you watching. Gemmell, Argentina, 1978, just like McFadden, France, 2007. Could we be about to see a McGinn or a McTominay, Germany, 2024? Well, I'm sure there's many fans who would dearly love to see that. Our reporter, Stephen Godden, is in the city centre tonight. Stephen, what's it like with you?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to say, less than an hour to go until kick-off, is that it's a lot quieter in the city centre than it was a few hours ago. It's not quiet, as you'll hear behind me, but it is a lot quieter. I'm just round the corner from Marienplatz, which, as you've seen throughout the programme, that's where all the Scotland fans have been gathering throughout the day. It was so busy at one point that the Munich authorities were telling Scotland fans to spread out around the city. They said it was overcrowded. The scene now is a little bit different. The street cleaners are in there trying to return some sort of normality for now, for a few hours at least, because I suspect it will get busier later on. And all the fans who are in the city centre, the focus is very much on finding somewhere to watch the game.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen after the match?
Well, I mean, for now, you just look behind me and you get the idea of what's happening in the city centre. The crowd of people out there, they're actually stood outside a bar. There are screens facing outwards, and the Scotland team came out just a few minutes ago to a big cheer. So really, people will be captivated here for the next few hours by the match. I'd expect afterwards things will get busy again. People will come back from the game, from the fan zones, and things will pick up again in the city centre. But as I say, everyone here now, fingers crossed, this is what we've been waiting for.
OK, certainly is, Stephen. Thank you very much and enjoy the match. Well, that's just about it from us in Munich tonight. I have to say, the atmosphere is absolutely electric, expectant, hopeful, all of those things and much, much more. We've said it before, but memories are being made tonight all across the city and at time at home with you. We hope we've managed to do it justice, to tell some of the many stories here, old friends making new ones. One thing left to do, sit back and enjoy. Good night.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's taken us 8 days to come here in our camper van.
This is where it's all happening today. I'm absolutely buzzing to be here. I've been looking forward to it for months and months now.
The girls, we started travelling together 25 years ago. It's our anniversary this year.
I'm so proud of the way that all the boys have come in, the girls and families. I've even seen dogs dressed up in Scotland strips. It's just incredible.
Wishing you all the very best in Germany. The whole country is right behind you.
Today's the day. I want to say a big good luck to Scotland. Let's start this weekend right.
It's a massive good luck from us. You know, you've got a huge feel-good factor back to everybody in Scottish football.
Come on, Scotland, you can do it.
The best of luck for the upcoming Euros.
Good luck, Scotland. All the best from sunny Shetland.
We're wishing you all the very best. The whole country's behind you.